Bartimaeus in verse 47 says, and when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. He heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth. But notice in the text, he doesn't say, Jesus of Nazareth, have mercy on me. He doesn't, he heard somebody, either the murmuring of the crowd or somebody has physically told him one-on-one, Jesus of Nazareth is coming through. Come on. He knows that Jesus of Nazareth is there, but his response, his crying out is not to Jesus of Nazareth. He says, Jesus, son of David. Come on. Have mercy on me. He doesn't say Jesus the Nazarite, Jesus born of Nazarene heritage. He doesn't say Jesus, Mary's baby, or Joseph's son, the carpenter, born who grew up in Nazareth. He says, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. That's cool, preacher, but I don't get it. He is from Nazareth. And that he is. And as people of faith, we believe that he is the son of David, and that he is. But see, the world acknowledges that there was a Jesus that was born in Bethlehem and raised in Nazareth. There's no special confession or profession of faith in believing that a person, a historical figure named Jesus, lived in Nazareth. And so for him to say, Jesus of Nazareth, that's not a statement of belief. Oh, but to call him the son of David. Come on now. It lets us know that Bartimaeus understood who Jesus really was. It leads me to believe, because there's no record that Bartimaeus had ever been in a church service, had ever been at a revival tent service. It leads me to believe that this heightened sense of hearing along the way, as people travel back and forth from Jericho to Jerusalem, people was talking about Jesus. And he might not have seen their healing, but he has certainly heard about it. I believe that when Peter and James and John were on that mount back in verse 9, and Peter wants to build tabernacles to Jesus and to Moses and to Elijah, and the voice of God comes down and says, no, this is my son in whom I love. Hear him, listen to him. Right here in verse 10, chapter 10, I believe that Mark puts into application that very thing of hearing, listening to him. I believe he listened to the people. I believe he heard of this two blind men who had followed Jesus into a house and had received their sight. I believe that he had heard about this woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years and had touched the hem of his garment and had been made whole. I believe that he had heard about the story of a synagogue leader named Jairus, and his daughter had died and Jesus had brought her back to life. I believe he had heard the story of him bringing back to life his friend Lazarus. I believe that he had heard about the story of him delivering folks who had been demon possessed. And because he heard, he knew who Jesus was. This is coming. We're going to be talking about at Family Fellowship this Vision 2020. But Vision 2020 is not 2020 vision. It's two different things. 2020 vision is a physical thing. That's natural. Obviously, I don't have it because I can't see none of your faces right now. I don't know who any of you are. I don't know. Was that 3? Was it only 1? I don't know. She holding up fingers. That's natural. But the vision that we need in the church has nothing to do with our natural eyes. As a matter of fact, I wish sometimes we would just come to church with blindfolds on. We'd be so much of a growing and effective ministry in church if we just wore blindfolds and when we doing ministry. We wouldn't be distracted about what people had on when they come to church, and we wouldn't be distracted about what people look like, or if we could just lose those distractions. And so Bartimaeus understood who Jesus was. And so my question for you is, when Jesus asked you the question he asked Bartimaeus, what is it that you want me to do for you? The same question he asked just 10 verses back to James and John, what is it that you want me to do for you? I believe he asks us the same question as children of God. What is it that you want me to do for you? Now, what we must understand is one thing we didn't have to ask him to do. He already did it. He already went to the cross of Calvary for the sins of the world. He's already done that. And so what we need to do for ourselves is accept the gift. But now that you're a child of God, Clayton Johnson always says that my God is no deadbeat dad. Our God doesn't father children and just leave them to their own devices. Our Father is up to date on his child support. He makes sure his babies are taken care of. You ain't got to worry about somebody else taking care of my daddy's children. He has that all taken care of. As a matter of fact, to the point where you wake up in the morning and your daddy's saying, hey, what is it that you want me to do for you? And so our answer is one of either in our natural or in our spiritual. And you can ask for all the natural blessings you want to, but those are temporal. Come on. What is your spiritual response?